With E3 just a few weeks around the corner, I want to discuss the rumors that are flying around for Nintendo. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. Before I get started on this video, feel free to comment below what rumors have you heard flying around for Nintendo at E3 this year, and also what are your own predictions that Nintendo might bring us this year at E3. So there is a person online that is usually pretty accurate with their predictions named Zippo. Zippo made a wealth of predictions based on Nintendo's E3 conference. This is going to be happening around June 12th to June 15th. That's when E3 is this year in 2021. Nintendo usually keeps a really closed lip on a lot of things that's going on with their releases up until a few months before they're actually released. The one kind of thing that we know the most, of course, is that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be coming out sometime soon. We're hoping it comes out this year. Who knows if it's going to be pushed to next year. Alright, so let's get to all these rumors. I'm going to talk about them just kind of in order that appeals to me, and also I'm going to talk about what I think the actual, percentage of likeliness that these come out are. So the first one that I'm really excited about is Zippo said that we're going to see a new Donkey Kong game. The new Donkey Kong game, we're not really certain if it's going to be something like Donkey Kong 64, a collectathon, or if it's going to be something more similar to Donkey Kong Country Returns, and then of course the sequel to that was Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Each of those were obviously sequels to the original trilogy on the Super Nintendo. So allegedly, maybe this isn't from Zippo, but from my research, it seems like the team that made Super Mario Odyssey is kind of at work behind a Donkey Kong game, or at least that's how the rumors are going right now. If this is true, this would make me really happy for the idea of getting a collectathon kind of like Donkey Kong 64. I would just hope it's not as clunky as the original one was, because all 5 characters, switching between them in barrels was a little bit hard to deal with, and it's really kind of difficult to play in 2021 for a collectathon. But can you imagine Super Mario Odyssey team making a Donkey Kong game that's a 3D open world game? That's what makes me the most excited for all these announcements, I think, if that's true. It could, of course, also just be a Donkey Kong Country sequel in some sort of regard. It has been a really long time since we've had Tropical Freeze. The game was re-released out on the Nintendo Switch, but this game came out in 2014. It's been over 7 years since we've had a new Donkey Kong game. It's one of Nintendo's bigger franchises. Definitely, obviously, Donkey Kong's in a lot of different Mario games, but we haven't seen one from the franchise in 7 years. I do think it's time. I think this rumor makes a lot of sense. I'm hoping for a 3D game. I think it's more likely that it's a 2D release. And some people are even wondering, is it going to be like a pseudo 2D, 3D game? That would also be really cool. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Donkey Kong game that could come out and the likelihood of that prediction. I think it's pretty high to predict that one, I think. Alright, next up is just something really interesting that I want to talk about for Super Mario Party. This game got an update after a few years of it being out. You can play online with more modes, and everyone's wondering, like, why the update after so long? It makes a lot of logical sense if there's going to be a Super Mario Party 2 coming out this holiday. Instead of kind of releasing something that, everyone could try and test out just for Super Mario Party 2, why not add some functionality to Super Mario Party, see how the online is working, and gear up for the release of Super Mario Party 2. It's almost like beta testing without actually releasing the new game in any way. So I think that makes an entire amount of sense, especially now when you combine that with that whole online experience that Nintendo's trying to change, alter, and make better for the user. So a new game from Super Mario Party, if it does come, this would be extremely likely, I think, in my opinion, considering how well this game sold, but considering critics, I personally did not like this one. The boards were too small for me. Allies, great idea. They're just too overwhelming when you get several of them. You're way too overpowered, essentially. So I'm hoping if there is a new Super Mario Party 2, the game boards are the focus. I'm hoping at least twice as many game boards. This one only had 4. Most of the original games had 5, so I'm hoping for maybe something between 8 and 10 game boards. My thoughts on this are, I don't know why they treat this, or why don't they treat Mario Party games just like they do with Mario Kart. Why can't we have some new courses, some new maps, but also have some older ones brought back, maybe from Mario Party 2 or Mario Party 6, for example? That would be really awesome. Then you only need maybe 4 or 5 new boards and 4 or 5 retro boards, and I'm really hoping they have retro mode if the game does come out. Super Mario Party 2, I would also put this really likely, in my opinion. They sold so well, and if you think back to other Mario parties on previous systems, it started on the N64, that got 3 of them. The GameCube got 4 of them, basically 1 per year. Then the Wii only had 2. The Wii U had the terrible, in my opinion, Mario Party 10, and only that 1. So the only console in Nintendo's recent history, back to the N64, in the entirety of the Super Mario Party or Mario Party franchise, almost every console gets at least 2 games. The only one that didn't was the Wii U, and the Wii U was a huge flop anyway. So I do put this as highly likely. Again, let me know what your thoughts are on the Mario Party games and what you would like to see from them. Sticking with Mario for this next rumor, Mario Kart 8 released on the Wii U in 2014, just like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. It's been 7 years since we had a brand new experience of Mario Kart in the main series. Of course, the re-release on the Nintendo Switch did upgrade the game. You got all the DLC, and more importantly, well, I mean, the DLC is very important, but you also got to hold 2 items on your cart when you're playing throughout the game, which is a huge addition. That's fantastic. This game is selling almost 35 million units. It's basically for every 2 Switch consoles sold, there's 1 copy of Mario Kart sold. It's still selling so incredibly well. That's my only hesitation around the rumor of a Mario Kart 9 coming out, maybe perhaps this year. I think it would make a lot of sense for Nintendo to have a brand new Mario Kart experience in the main series dedicated to the Nintendo Switch. It would almost be, I think it would make a lot of sense to me if they almost had like a Nintendo Kart, still Mario Kart, but keep bringing in new characters. So in this one, obviously, you could get the characters like Link, you could also get Isabelle from Animal Crossing, bring in more of the characters from Nintendo's history, almost like Super Smash Bros. The rumor also specified that the new Mario Kart game, if it is true in development, it has nothing to do with this right here, Mario Kart Live. I know this is an experience made from the ground up for the Nintendo Switch, but the rumor says that it's nothing to do with this one. It would perhaps be a new Mario Kart game, maybe Mario Kart 9, or a whole new game in the franchise, kind of going towards that Nintendo Kart, as I said. So I think that's not as likely as the other rumors, but it would honestly be really sad for the entire Nintendo Switch life cycle to come and go, and for there to be no unique Mario Kart 9, and just be a port of the Wii U game. That's really weird to me, so I could believe this rumor. I just don't think it's as likely as the Mario Party and the Donkey Kong, but who knows, maybe all of them are true. This next rumor makes a lot of people really happy as well. Metroid, apparently 2D Metroid, might be getting a brand new game in development as well. So here we have Samus Returns, which was a remake, and then we have Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. The rumors say that this is a 2D game, and allegedly, Zippo says, the game's already done. Apparently it's ready to be released. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is true, this would definitely be something that we would see this holiday season, maybe in October, maybe it would be one of the earlier releases from Nintendo, just before, you know, the craziness of November and December hits for the holiday season. If it's actually done completely, then I do think we're going to see it a lot sooner rather than later, and apparently, yeah, 2D experience, I really would like to see another open world 3D Metroid game, like a Metroid Prime 4, they've been talking about it for a really long time. It's just not there. They had to go back in development and everything like that. So in the meantime, I would be very happy with a new Metroid game, especially the 2D series is always fantastic. If you're picking up Metroid Samus Returns, you can get the special edition, which does come with the soundtrack, which is pretty awesome just to tide you over. Now this remake, just checking this, came out 4 years ago as a remake. So it has been a little while since we've seen a good Metroid game. Think about Metroid Federation Force, on the 3DS was also not very good, basically. So definitely time for Metroid to come back into the main part of Nintendo's franchise and have more of those games in development. And really, I mean, Metroid deserves more love. Definitely deserve to get Metroid Prime 4 and another 2D game. That would be fantastic. The next rumor is regarding Detective Pikachu 2. So here I have Detective Pikachu, the larger amiibo, one of the largest amiibo. I think this is the second largest one, next to the Yoshi's Woolly World amiibo. So this rumor for Detective Pikachu 2, if there's going to be a second movie at any point, I think another game makes a lot of sense as well. The game did pretty well. He didn't give out any rumors, Zippo didn't, I don't think, talk about any rumors for the new Pokemon games. I think that's going to be Game Freak. It might be a little bit separate, and I think Nintendo might have a harder control or handle on the Detective Pikachu games, but I'm not exactly certain about that. So again, Zippo didn't mention anything about the remakes of the Pokemon games, or Arceus, which is supposed to come out as well, which I'm really excited for. So the Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2, hopefully it does come out. It was just kind of a side rumor of all of them. It was like the smallest one that he just discussed. And the last rumor, the big rumor is on Breath of the Wild 2, The Legend of Zelda. They released a trailer for this previously. We've already seen it, of course. And Zippo was kind of saying he's not, or they are not confident that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 would come out in 2021. It might be pushed to 2022. It's a little bit too early to tell exactly where they are in development. Obviously, with everything going on in the world, it's slowed down production of the game, and it might be pushed back for that reason. I'm completely under the belief that Nintendo can take as long as they need if they're going to make another or if they're making another Breath of the Wild, basically. Take as long as they want. I'm really hoping that there's dungeons. I'm hoping maybe even it would be really cool if you could play as Zelda, as one of the playable characters. Maybe you could have Link in one part of the world, and you could have Zelda in another part of the world, and you would have two protagonists. I'm fine with that. I'm really open to seeing what Nintendo can do for this next open world adventure. I don't know if Zelda's ever going to go back to kind of the closed sandbox. I really like this open sandbox game where everything is just ready to go. As soon as you start the adventure, you can basically go anywhere after you start the story. I love that open world concept. So that's the other major rumor. I'm hoping we get this game in 2021, but if not, I can see it being pushed to 2022, maybe early. So as late as March, but maybe released in February. It would be weird for Nintendo to just barely miss the release window of the holiday season for this one. It just depends how much they have going on. Those are all the rumors that I saw from Zippo. There's a lot of other stuff flying out there, so I think the most likely of these, to me, is probably the Super Mario Party 2 would be most likely. And then the Donkey Kong and the Metroid are probably about equal. Mario Kart 9, I'm holding my breath for. I'm not really sure about that one. And the fact that Breath of the Wild might be pushed to 2022, could be late 2021, that's extremely likely as well. And a Detective Pikachu 2 game, that makes a lot of sense too. So these aren't my rumors. Again, these are Zippo's rumors. Maybe I'll link it to the Reddit thread where someone just discussed all of them there as well. If you want to check it out yourself, let me know what your thoughts are on the likelihood of these rumors and what are you expecting out of 2021 Nintendo's E3 Direct. Again, that should take place sometime between June 12th and June 15th. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to fill the like bucket, subscribe to the channel. I try and post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. Go collect them all. Keep smiling while gaming. You guys are awesome.